Welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 230. Time to go to the dentist.
Oh no.
Get it. Oh, we watched Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene. My name is Eric.
I am Jason, Marlene, Marcy, Young. Is that the right sequence of words?
Jason...
the movie title.
Movie title is Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene.
I have no idea. I believe you. I trust you.
Yeah. I was unsure last week, but I was correct. And, I've
been practicing.
You know what? Now that you've said it, I'm second guessing myself. I honestly don't know. I know for sure.
All those four names are in there.
All those four names are in there. And that Marcy May is in the correct order.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Somewhere there's a Martha and a Marlene.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's first and last.
All right. I trust you. Yeah, that's an odd choice for a title.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, if two guys who've been talking about it for a week and just finished watching it have trouble remembering the name, maybe that's not such a great, marketing choice.
It's possible that there was probably a better title in this movie somewhere.
Like maybe even just three names maybe would have been better.
Martha, Marcy, May?
Yeah. Or Marcy, May, Marlene.
Because the name Marlene doesn't really come into play.
Right, yeah.
But Martha and Marcy May does.
Oh, spoiler. Dude. Yeah.
Or they should have just called it that one chick that escaped from the cult.
Yeah, that would make sense as well.
Or, if we want to exploitation this up, Cult Escape!
Now that is cool. Can you imagine, just like movie posters are flashing through my brain right now. Cult Escape. With like the little blurbs, like, she almost, she was swallowed whole by a cult of nightmares. And an ellipsis.
Right.
But she tried to escape.
Yeah. And you know what? I could actually see this movie, as it stands, like unedited, the way it is presented, being marketed as an exploitation movie, completely.
Oh, yeah?
Because, I've seen, like, a lot of those movies that, like, the name is, like, like, super evocative of, like something horrific.
Right, very extreme.
Right, and, like, the movie poster art, or, like, the marquee art or whatever is all, like, very, graphic and intense, and then, just extreme, and then, in your face. But then, you watch the movie, and it's, like, a slow character drama.
Right. Which is what this was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Especially if this was made in, I don't know, like decades ago,
Right. I think I even watched a movie called, like, Cult of the Damned or something like that. That was a lot. The plot to this was, well, I don't know. There's some similarities, but for the most part,
it's kind of slow paced.
It's a very slow pace, and it's about an alienated girl who falls in with a cult, and they kind of basically just fuck with her life, but it's like Cult of the Damned, and it's the poster was all like satanic looking, and just monsters and everything, but it's just about a bunch of hippies.
Hippies can be monsters.
Well, that is true.
They're not all.
If you've ever been to Yellow Springs.
No. I passed through today, and they were very nice.
They were monsters.
None of them, pawed against our car as we stopped at the red lights or anything. It was really nice. We did throw some soy jerky out the window.
Just to distract him.
Yeah, to just get him away from the vehicle. Hey. So where'd you hear about this movie?
I listen to a lot of podcasts about movies.
Yeah.
And, the internet and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I hear about quite a few movies.
Yeah. Okay.
And this was one of them.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I'd never heard of it.
You're not on the internet.
I check my email once a week.
So for every new movie that I hear about, should I just send you an email?
No. Oh my God. Can you imagine? First of all, I wouldn't see them but every 2 or 3 days, and then
All right, they'll pile up.
Oh my gosh!
And on Thursday or whatever day it is that you check your mail, at around 10 a.m. You'll get 17 emails from me throughout the week.
Well, now that I'm no longer working New Comic Night, and you can no longer send me emails to tell you what to pull, maybe you can just send me once a week an email of movies, trailers to watch.
All right.
That'd be cool.
This show is over now.
What is that?
You've just made me sad.
Oh. Yeah, apparently I'm not working this Tuesday night. This is the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jeremy will take care of you. He loves you. Oh, Joe will take care of you. Joe might be there.
Joe's a crapshoot, whether he goes there or not.
That's true.
I'll continue to send you the email and just hope that it's still there Wednesday.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Maybe occasionally I might stop in on Tuesday night just to take a peek. Yeah. Steal my books early.
Right.
Oh my God, I hope Steve Geppe's not listening to this show.
He's not.
It's true, I do take them home early and read them on Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
I've confessed.
So does Joe.
Yep. Well, he has reasons. Mine's entertainment. He's looking out for the world because he does those reviews.
Yeah. We do reviews.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing one right now.
Well,
can't you tell?
I'm supposed to be. But then I made you sad and wrecked the whole thing.
You said wrecked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think?
Erect.
Erect.
You made me sad and erect.
Well, that happens.
Well, that does happen on a 3 times a day basis.
Yeah, I mean,
I get sad and then I get erect.
There's an overlap of emotions.
Yeah.
We're complex creatures.
Sometimes I get erect because I'm sad, and sometimes I'm sad because I'm erect.
Right? Wow. Those are different kind of...
they are different bases of emotion. Yeah.
Well, same end result. Yeah. A mess up and down the stairs. Which is all we can hope for. So, yeah.
Yeah, this movie.
It's a movie about this girl.
Yeah, that is a movie about a girl. Her name is Martha.
And, her name, the overly complex title is because she basically, the movie is about the 2 different lives that she's led in this, little brief, year span or 2 years span.
2 years or so, yeah. The movie opens with sort of a glimpse into the life of this community that lives in a farm, and then the very next morning, this girl runs away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the entire movie is basically her dealing with trying to cope with the real world again after having lived in this cult for 2 years, and then also flashing back to her time with the cult.
Yeah, there's many flashbacks. Yeah. Probably a dozen, maybe.
I'd say half of the movie.
Yeah. But yeah, it starts at that point where she escapes, and then it goes forward there with the constant flashbacks.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say I think that makes for a really good narrative.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really a good way to do that story.
It keeps you on your toes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I certainly was never... there were times where I was predicting what was happening in my head.
Right.
and was often wrong, which is usually a good sign.
Yeah.
So I don't like. I mean, there's some satisfaction in knowing that you're right about how a story is unfolding, but there's, I think, an even bigger satisfaction in being completely wrong about how that story is unfolding.
Yeah, being surprised and
exactly
impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a gander and then say that you liked it.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like I told you right before we started the film, I have this thing where I can't remember stuff a lot.
Right.
And
it's called being a pot smoker.
And I had no idea what we were about to watch because, you mentioned it in the last episode, and that's the last time I heard anything about it.
Right.
And yeah, I had no idea. Like, even today I told Kathleen, I was like, man, I hope we watch something fun because we watched The Master last time. And I was like, I hope it's like a comedy or something because I can't remember what it was. And then this started and I was like, oh, this is not going to be a fun comedy.
It depends on how you look at it.
Oh. I don't think many people, I mean, there might be like one or two scenes where you're like, oh, okay, they relieve tension with a laugh, but anybody that would watch this movie and think it was a comedy maybe needs some psychiatric help.
Oh. That scene where, she attacks a bartender for no reason, or, where she gets raped, or then later on makes another person get raped,
Or the part where she is almost shooting kitty cats.
Right, yeah. These are all hilarious moments in the life of this girl.
Did Seth Rogen originally read for that part? Because he'd be perfect. He's a funny guy.
Oh. So yeah. This movie's a little dark.
It's dark.
A little depressing.
I didn't find it depressing.
I did.
Really? What elements?
Most of it?
Oh, yeah. That part was depressing. I'll give you that. That part was. No, it's dark and it's, you sort of feel bad for this character.
Yeah.
They did a good job with, creating a character you empathize with.
Right. Maybe it's just in my own head, and then because it didn't pan out the way I thought it was going to pan out. So basically, the story is about this girl after she's left this cult, and she's taken in by her sister and brother-in-law, who are fairly well off, and they haven't seen or spoken to her in over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden she's just, reemerged, into their lives and refuses to really talk about anything that's happened. And maybe it was just the vibe that I was getting from the movie. Because again, it didn't pan out the way I thought it was, but I honestly thought that, things were going to go poorly, if not worse, at, her sister's house.
Yeah.
I thought the husband was going to be just as much of a creep as the guy at the farm.
I thought it was going to be a Woody Allen movie. Like in the first 10 minutes, not the first 10 minutes, but there's a scene early on where Marcy's, what are we calling her? Martha or Marcy?
Her real name is Martha.
Okay, we'll call her Martha. Marcy is her cult name.
Right. She moves to the cult, and the leader, Patrick, just immediately starts calling her Marcy May.
Who is that guy? The guy that played Patrick?
His name is John Hawkes.
He looks like if DJ Qualls and Vincent Gallo had a man-child.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, all right, I can see that.
Yeah. So that was confusing me through the movie. I was like, oh, it's Vincent Gallo when I first saw him. I was like, no, it's DJ. No, it's not DJ Qualls. I don't know.
Well, hey, one of those is a good actor, and at least this guy got those genes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
DJ Qualls.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, I'd say Vince Gale is an alright actor. He should just never be allowed to direct anything again.
Yeah, John Hawkes. I've seen him in a few things, but the only thing that I can pull right now that I've ever seen him in is actually Eastbound and Down.
Oh, really? The TV show?
The comedy.
Was that supposed to be a comedy?
Well, it's supposed to be a comedy, yeah. Instead, it's just bad.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But people love it.
It's weird.
Yep.
Well, I've only seen like 2 episodes, but they were bad enough that I didn't want to let it get better.
Right.
Like, I'm like, no.
I watched the first season of it because your girlfriend lent it to me, and I was not a fan.
Yeah, me and her watched the first couple episodes at her house, and she seemed to like it a lot more than I did.
Yep.
Which is fine. I'm sure I like some shows she hates, and
right.
Nobody knows who's right. I'm right.
In this case, you are. Yes. But yeah, he plays the brother on that show.
That was him? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah. So, power of a good actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Made an impression in this movie. And
right.
is mostly forgettable on that show.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway.
Martha.
What was I saying?
You were saying how she's, So
yeah, she gets renamed to Marcy now. We were talking about potential creepy husband guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
because like early on in the movie, Martha's sister has to leave the house for like drive into town because they're like in this country house like by the lake, and then Martha's like scrubbing the floor and her boobs are flying around, and,
which is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And then the husband comes in drinking a beer, and then he invites her out on the lake with him, and you're like, oh, they're gonna have sex,
right? Or he's gonna attempt to rape her,
right?
Because people who have had that experience in the past, it's like predators seem to know how to flock to that.
It's like it's somehow embedded, and people pick up on the scent, or what? I mean, not the scent, not literally. I don't want to be creepy here. I just mean like there's this unfortunate vibe that like residual thing that is left behind.
Victims, seem to be able to, or not be able to, but they seem to, they seem to have that vibe that I'm a victim,
which is horrible.
Right, yeah. And then, people take advantage of that, and he definitely the character was giving off the vibe that he was gonna take advantage of that.
Yeah, I thought that scene was being telegraphed a mile away, but then the scene never came, which was awesome.
Yeah. So good for that.
Yeah. I mean, like, it surprised us,
right?
And maybe like it says something about us. Maybe that we were like. Maybe we were rooting for that to happen subconsciously, but
I don't know that I was rooting for it to
I don't know that I was either, but I mean, shit happens underneath the skin,
Right. But I think I wasn't rooting, but I was expecting more terrible things to happen to her now that she's free of this cult than was happening at the cult.
Right, yeah. Which built a tension because they kept, in our minds, at least, I'm going to imagine it felt like it was being strung along, like, oh, we're going to wait until that horrible thing happens.
Right.
And you're like, oh, you're anticipating it. And, like, not a lot of, not a lot of the things that you think are going to happen.
Right.
Which is nice, but it was, like, off-putting with the tension.
Yeah.
So when you were in the cult, was it similar?
We did sell blankets out in the town.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you ever actually sold any. I thought you just made them.
No, yeah, we had to make money.
Okay.
Until we could get the farm up here.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I can't remember anything after that milkshake you gave me. All I remember was waking up with your dick inside of me.
Well, that's just Tuesday.
Oh. Yeah, that was the thing that happened.
Yeah.
Which was horrifying.
Yep. Don't get into a cult, folks.
Yeah, apparently they, it's not all about playing acoustic guitar and growing cabbages. There's some horrible shit that happens too.
Yeah.
Yeah, what should we talk about this movie? I mean, are we going to spoil a lot of the plot? Because I mean, it is pretty much this, this build of memories,
right.
Which, if the memories are, then the flashbacks are spoiled, the film kind of loses something.
Yeah.
But I would like to talk about all these awesome characters. There's a lot of great characters.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like, I mean, start off with the main character, Martha. She is very believable. I mean, I've known a lot of odd people in my life, including some who lived on communes, but they weren't like cult communes. They were just like hippie kind of thing.
They were cults.
It's possible. But yeah, I mean, it kind of reminds me of that sort of free spirit, but not quite sure of what to do with life kind of people. Which I envy sometimes, and then I abhor at others.
I mostly abhor it, but while watching this movie, I was like, well, maybe I should move to a cult.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Just find some sort of commune somewhere and live there. That way I no longer have to worry about life.
Well, you should start a cult if you're going to do anything cult-related.
It seems like there needs to be a lot of startup capital involved. Like, I'd have to buy a farm and, like, a big enough house to eventually have cult members live at.
Well, they didn't they build the farm? I mean, you saw them, like, building the roofs and things like that.
They were just doing repairs.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that was an old house.
Maybe you could just find an old abandoned house somewhere.
That would be nice.
Or just murder the current owners.
Well, I could do that.
Yeah. Assume their identity.
Right, yeah. Okay.
I mean, in the hills, nobody's going to know.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, it's like this cult of... It's all young people. Maybe, a dozen of them, you think? Something like that? Maybe
It's hard to tell.
Maybe not even that much.
Because the very opening scene of the movie, we see everybody sort of doing their chores or sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see Patrick and the rest of the men.
Oh, the dinner time.
At dinner, and there's like, I would say 8 guys eating dinner, and then in the next room is like 20 women waiting.
Right.
Because they're not allowed to eat until after the men eat.
Right.
So it looked like there was quite a few people living in that place.
I forgot about that scene. Yeah.
But then once Martha leaves, and then we start having the flashbacks, especially to when she first gets there, it seems like maybe there's only about 6 total.
A lot less. Yeah. Maybe they work in shifts. Maybe some of them sleep. And they all kind of sleep in like one big room and have
the women do.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that the men had their own rooms. Because the cult is very much about sort of suppressing women and then having power over them.
Right.
I mean, it seemed to me, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, with that whole thing with the, the women eating second and...
Right.
And then, being raped by the cult leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, the rest of the guys get to pick whoever they want, to fuck on any, time that they want. Not good people.
No.
And it's weird. I guess, I don't know, because it's weird that this is the second movie in a row we've watched about a cult.
Yeah, it is.
But this cult seems far worse than the one in the Master.
Yeah, the ones in the Master just seemed like they were kind of maybe getting some money from people, that sort of thing. But this was like little more like deliverance sprinkled in there.
Yeah. But to me, like watching like the other female characters in this movie just totally, wholeheartedly accepting everything that happens.
Oh, yeah.
With, I mean, like even to the point where, like, Martha, you know, as Marcy May, you know, is in on it, too.
Yeah. She takes part in, you know, when one of the new girls shows up, she is the person that basically
indoctrinates her.
Right. Yeah. Has her, you know, drink the liquid that knocks her out and all that.
The rape shake.
The rape shake. Yeah. You know, I gotta say about the rape shake, I've never liked them unless you do like Steak and Shake has the half and half. If you get like half strawberry, half rape shake,
right,
it ain't too bad.
Right.
But yeah, straight rape shake is it's just not good.
I'm sure it might taste good with the whipped cream on top.
Right.
But I'm not a fan of whipped cream.
Right.
And like that's one thing that whenever I go to like, you know, Steak and Shake or there was somewhere else recently where I went to get a milkshake and I told them no whipped cream.
Right.
Cause that's what I prefer. And yeah,
they always put it on.
I mean, you know, it's just second nature to them. They make the milkshake, they spray the whipped cream.
Right.
Yeah. So that's really the only way I've ever been able to drink the rape shake.
Is with the whipped cream.
Yeah. Which is weird because, again...
Because you're not usually a whipped cream fan. Huh.
Exactly.
That's weird. Yeah. Huh. Do you wake up with your cherry still?
It's usually at the bottom of the cup.
Yeah, that's right.
It like sinks.
Oh man, rape jokes. Not good. New low for us.
Oh, we have lost all our women listeners.
Oh, I don't think we had any listeners, male or female. I think we have 2 listeners and they're both talking right now.
That's not true.
Oh yeah, Brian John Mitchell, maybe Jeremy Anderson.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You were referring to us and we don't listen.
Yeah, no. We're listening as we speak.
Okay.
That's about it. No, yeah, rape's not good.
No, it's not.
And not funny.
We do not condone it.
We
whatsoever.
do not. No.
Although, you know...
This is gallows humor. We have to... Like, whenever I'm talking about something horrific, I usually try to... Try to poke fun at it.
There was an episode of the Stupid Sexy podcast where your lady and I talked about rape. And I think I pretty much made a defense for rape jokes.
Really?
I think it's okay. As long as they are actually funny.
Really?
Yeah.
I
don't condone rape.
Right.
I condone rape jokes.
Does it sort of relieve the tension, you think? Is that what
yeah, and I think comedians should be able to talk about anything they want to.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And to say that there's certain things they can't talk about, I think is just going against what a comedian should be.
Maybe it's just the way they deliver it, you know?
Well, that's the thing.
Right. Yeah.
Has to be funny.
Yeah.
Has to be funny.
Right. It can't just be like funny that he's talking about rape.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense.
So, anyway. Rape shakes.
She gives the lady the rape shake.
Right, yeah. But it's not until like a turning point where she starts to sort of question her role there and
right.
like just the goings on of the commune. Which I don't want to spoil at all. But you know, it is the impetus for her to leave at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beginning of her starting to leave. Yeah, some other stuff happens that she's like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
I mean, not that nonchalantly. It's more it's more like, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm gone. Yeah. I mean, it's on the one hand, it's weird because then she goes to the family who, you know, her sister and her sister's husband who are affluent, and and then there's this tension between them, and you know, and Martha's not really telling them anything, and they just think she's acting weird, and all they know is that she disappeared for 2 years, like you said. And then they're having dinner together, and it sort of comes to a head where they've been frustrating each other for weeks or whatever.
Right.
And they kind of yell at each other and kind of belittle each other's lifestyle. And it's kind of weird because I kind of find myself thinking the perfect way to live is somewhere between the two of them. A good halfway median mark. Because
I don't think there is a halfway.
Well, I mean,
I don't think that you can live to try to be successful in something and also to just exist.
I don't know. I look at, like, I want to use Chester Brown as an example here.
Okay.
Like, that guy, I mean, all he can afford to do is eat and have sex with whores.
But could you imagine if he wasn't having sex with whores, how much more money he would have?
Well, I don't know, because he only started doing that in the last, like, 10 years.
Right.
And he was never, like, he's always just been, like, a dude with a mattress in a apartment. I don't know. And he's been a successful, influential cartoonist for 25 years.
Well, obviously, he's apparently not successful, if that's what you're saying.
Well,
that he can only afford to eat and fuck.
Well, he's successful in that he does what he needs to do, and he doesn't live above his means. I mean, he does what he wants. Like, for work, I don't know, like I sort of am envious of that sort of free spirit, like, not having to go to your job every day sort of thing. But at the same time, obviously I don't want to, like, live in the rape cult, or be homeless. You know, I'd love to have some sort of middle ground where...
You do have a middle ground. You work at Mavericks.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate, though. Yeah. Well, but those things aren't ideal. I mean,
Well, no, but some might think that is.
Right.
I mean, you have a fairly open schedule. You pretty much get to do whatever the hell you want. You pay a very low rent.
It's true. Wow. My mom doesn't rape me either.
Yeah, no.
Which is cool.
Doogie does.
Is that why he keeps buying me milkshakes that taste weird? Oh, I always thought when I woke up there was a ring of milk around my mouth.
Sure, it's illegal milk.
Yeah, I was going to say, it tastes more like raw milk, and I don't drink that. Oh. No, that didn't happen either.
So, you know, what I'm saying is that you've already found that midway point.
Wow, maybe I have.
You know what I mean? I can't do that. I live by myself, and I have to work a deadening job, 5 days a week for 12-hour days, you know.
That sucks. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah.
And I'm not getting successful at that. But at the same time, I don't. I also do not want to live in a rape cult.
Right. Yeah, nor do you want to live in some mansion and, like...
No, I do.
But you don't worship money, though. Like
I pretty much do. I would say goodbye to every single person I've ever known if it meant I could be rich.
Right. I respect your honesty, but I deplore your morals.
I mean, but the thing is, I don't know how to go about doing that. But yes, I would kill you to live in a mansion.
Oh, okay. Spoiler. In case I'm dead by the time this airs. And he steals the keys to my mansion. I told him the other day I've got 3 different people's keys to their houses in my keyring. Maybe you're plotting. You're like, surely one of those is a mansion. I can tell you right now. Nope, not really. Oh man.
So anyway.
What do you think of the sister in this movie?
She's not much better than the cult leader.
I mean, at least she's trying.
No, not really.
You don't think?
I think she comes across as overbearing from the jump.
Well, she does, but I think she's trying and she just doesn't know how. Like, I feel like she really does care about her sister. Like, she gives her a place to stay, and, like, she talks to her, and, like, and it gives her a lot of second chances kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, I just thought that she was far too overbearing and was honestly beginning to sympathize with, Martha's decision to run away to this cult, if that was who she was dealing with beforehand.
Right.
to me, it seemed like the sister was only...
Is it Lucy? What's her name?
Lucy, yeah. Okay. It seemed like Lucy was only doing this out of...
obligation?
Yeah, like familial obligation.
Well, I mean, but she never really knew, Martha's situation, though, so she might have just thought she was just living with her. Like, she asked her about the bruise on her ear, and, she said, do you have a boyfriend that did that to you? You can talk to me. Like, she seemed to me concerned, but she also seemed, very, like, in her own world, because, I mean, she's trying to have a baby, and she's trying to get pregnant. I mean, so she did seem a little, self-centered, but at the same time, like, I really believed that the character cared for her sister.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, the more that they interacted, the more I thought, okay, well, she was the reason that Martha ran away, in the first place.
Oh, okay.
And it could be, I mean, yeah, okay, she does care, and she is trying to help, but she is not a person who is ever good at that.
I agree. And there is a big scene where Martha says, you're going to be a terrible mother.
Right.
And maybe, like you said, maybe that's because she remembers her own experiences with Lucy and...
Right. Well, even just the week's passage of the events of this movie. Right. She's not good at taking care of anyone.
Right.
And so I give in a little bit on that.
Well, I do too. I do too. You're right. Yeah. I think you're right. We're finding a middle ground.
Yeah. And Ted Mosby.
That's it's not Ted Mosby, but it is a guy named Ted who's an architect
in New York.
In New York, yeah. Oh,
wow. I never quite got a handle on him, because I mean, like we talked about, for like the first third of this movie, we're pretty sure that he's just going to be rapey and creepy.
Yeah.
But it turns out he's not, and so then after that, I was like, well, I don't get this guy.
Right.
Like I realized that he, like, the entire situation is like completely out of his hands.
Yeah.
Like he's just sort of thrust into the situation because it's his wife's sister. But there's never like a solid feel for his character.
I think the big like scene for him was at the dinner table when he freaks out on Martha about like taking control of her life and planning her future.
Right.
Because the sister was still sort of reluctant to chat, to like
confront her.
Right, to chastise or whatever. And yeah, I mean, like, I think that was like the only real point for him even being in the movie was like sort of getting that going.
Right.
But yeah, he was an odd character. But I mean, very, very cool because you didn't see everything coming with him. He's not just like, oh, he's that guy in the movie the guy that does this and that. He's a complex character like a lot of them. And yeah, I don't know, like even the cult leader, I mean, maybe it's because I love like shitty indie rock songs, but I was like, when he was playing a song, I was like, oh, this guy's cool. He's alright.
It was just a guy sitting with an acoustic guitar. Of course you loved it.
Yeah, I love that shit.
You're joining the cult.
I am. I was like, alright, I'll even drink the fucking shake, Patrick. Like, oh, what? Men don't drink the shakes? I'm out. But yeah, even him, like, there was a couple times where, you're like, oh, maybe he's not such a bad guy. He's just trying to help these people. And then that was before the rape happens, But yeah, complex characters abound.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great. I mean, this reminded me a lot of, like, when you read good, like, stories, like good novels or whatever in school or in your leisure time and just well put together literature characters,
Sure.
I don't know. This movie was kind of like literature.
A little bit, yeah.
It was, makes you think and like builds interesting characters, and it's not just totally gratuitous. I mean, there's some gratuitous scenes, or not gratuitous scenes, but there's some heavy scenes.
Yeah.
But they're not like they really know when to cut too. There's a lot of times where I was like, there's a scene that just looked like it was going to be one of those indie film things that would go on and on, but I think they never ever
linger.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of good timing choices.
Yeah. Just all went away.
Oh.
Just the entire movie just left my head.
I don't want to spoil the ending of the movie,
Right.
but the ending sort of left me a little like,
Empty?
yeah, it's like a choose your own adventure non-closure ending.
Yeah, I was not thrilled about that.
I don't mind ambiguous endings,
Right.
but this was like,
not ambiguous at all because nothing happened.
yeah, this was like they forgot to film the last part of the movie.
Right. And there's a short film included with this movie called Merry Last Scene. And it is...
Like last SEEN, not scene of a movie.
and it is sort of like a side story to this movie, in which it's the same farmhouse and the same cults recruiting a new girl into the house.
Right.
I don't know how long that was, maybe 10, 20 minutes, something like that.
Right.
And even that, it ended with nothing.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's this guy's
It's
style.
Yeah.
And if so, then he needs to work on that.
Is it Durkin? Is that his last name?
Sean Durkin.
Durkin. Yeah. I really like his style.
Durkin.
And I wouldn't be surprised if I got really used to that, even the ending was.
Right.
If if that's his thing and like that's just the way he does it.
I don't like it at all. Again, like I don't mind an ambiguous ending.
Yeah.
But an ending would have been nice.
Well, I think I know, like I'm not going to spoil the very ending, but there's a very last scene right before the credits roll and I think I know exactly what they're implying happened.
I think also, I'm with you on that,
but you don't know the extent to which it happened or the results of that happening. I mean, it would be nice to have
something.
Have a little more.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like spell it all out for us, but it just felt like it felt like it was missing something.
Mm-hmm. Yep. One of the worst things I think that you can say at the end of a movie, and I will say that this has happened many times while watching a movie for me, but usually only with Japanese films. It was like, was that it?
All right. Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? It would have been cool since this movie was done in such a way where there is the back and forth flashback type thing.
Right.
Like if they are going to have an ending like that with no closure, if they could have somehow worked something in the very beginning of the movie that once you see the ending and recall the beginning, it sort of ties it together and you're like, oh, I bet that's what happened.
Like a memento.
Yeah, like a memento. Yeah.
But not backwards.
Not backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, because this movie is not backwards. It is linear. It just tells two different stories at the same time.
The flashbacks are like the segues are awesome. I think.
Yeah, like almost seamless.
Yeah, and not just like seamless. Like like all of a sudden we're in a flashback and it's like there's always something that triggers the flashbacks.
Right, yeah.
Like if she's doing something that is reminiscent of a memory.
Right.
And they're done in not a hit you over the head kind of way.
Yeah.
But like a
sometimes like you don't even know if you're watching a flashback or in present day until
she walks into another room or something.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, very subtle and nicely done.
So the acting in this is really good.
It's great.
And I really liked the style of this movie and the cinematography and the direction of it. So I think Sean Durkin is definitely a guy. I think this is his first movie. At least that's what it said on the text thing before the short movie. And so I would look forward to seeing what else he's got, coming up.
Yeah. I mean, everything looks great and has a good pace and feel.
Yeah, but yeah, the acting in this, I think, without that, I don't know that this movie would have been as good.
Right. Definitely.
Because, like we talked about, the characters are pretty complex.
Mm-hmm.
And, nobody plays anything, like, over the top or exaggerated or cartoony.
Right.
Yeah,
there's no weakest link, really. It's all pretty good.
But yeah, the main actress is, the girl that plays, Martha is, Elizabeth Olsen, I believe is her name. And she is, the sister to the Olsen twins.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, is she the older or younger?
I think younger.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. There's 3 Olsens.
There's 3 Olsens, at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could be more.
Could be more, I
Who
guess.
knows?
Yeah. We don't know how many actors that family has spawned. It could be like the Culkins, where there's like seemingly a new one every couple years.
Are there more than... all I knew was Macaulay.
There's Macaulay, and there's Kieran. There's a third one.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly a fourth.
Do you know the actress that played Lucy? She looked really familiar.
Her name is Sarah Paulson. Yes.
Her name is Sarah Paulson.
I've only mostly seen her on television shows, but she was, most recently, she was the sort of lead character on this season of American Horror Story.
Okay.
Which is one of the worst television shows ever made. And I can't stop watching it when it's on.
Yeah, she looked familiar. I've never seen American Horror Story, but
you shouldn't. Ever. I can't recommend it.
I've been told this before. By you, probably.
Probably, yeah. Your girlfriend loves it, but also hates it.
It's one of those things. Huh?
Yeah.
Wow, then I definitely don't want to try it.
No,
it's like a drug that you can't quit.
Yeah. And the guy that plays her husband is Hugh Dancy, who he is currently on the show Hannibal, playing the character of Will Graham. And that is the best show currently on broadcast television.
That's odd that they're on the best and worst shows on TV.
Yeah. And in this movie, one of them is better than the other. Not who you'd think. And I think that only just comes down to, again, not really getting a sure footing for where the husband is at.
Right.
Like in the entire movie. That maybe he comes off as a little weak. But yeah, it's still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I watched the first episode of Hannibal, and I was like, I really like this show, except for that guy. And now, like, I'm 6 episodes in, and I think that guy is great.
Okay.
So.
It takes a little time to grow on you.
Yeah. And then, that was about the only people I could remember from this movie, other than the guy that plays Patrick, who was also great.
There was a scene too. I just remembered this where the husband. We talked about it earlier when he's got Martha out boating and we think something horrible is going to happen, but he sort of lets her drive the boat for a minute, and she seems like to come out of her shell for a minute. Like she seems really happy and like because she's in control of something, you know. Maybe that was like the first time a male had let her be in control of something, at least in a few years. I thought that was a good scene.
Right. And yeah, like I didn't read that into that either, but I thought, like it was just her finally realizing that maybe things will be okay out in the real world now.
Right.
But then, like, she does sort of slip back into herself, after that scene again,
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it could be read multiple ways.
Yeah, she clearly has problems with men, though, because even like you said, they have a party at the sister's house, and the bartender, I don't even think he makes a pass at her. I don't know. What did he say even?
He didn't say anything to her.
He offered her a drink, and
like she approached him and confronted him and freaked out at him for nothing. Yeah,
he handed her a drink, but he said something when he handed her the drink. I forget what it was.
Yeah, but I don't think it was anything bad.
It was. I don't know if it was supposed to be like sort of like him, like, well, enjoy this or come back for another one or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think what it was is that by this point she had become more and more paranoid that the cult was going to find her and was after her. And so I think this was just sort of the tipping point of that. Like, she thought that the bartender he
was somebody from... Oh, I get it, because, like, the drink, like, she doesn't want to drink because, the rape shakes and all.
Right.
Yeah, I guess if you were given a drink that ended up, with that situation happening, you'd be a little leery of strangers giving you drinks.
This is why I don't drink Orange Crush anymore.
Why?
Because I had one once, and then the next thing I know, my butt hurt.
Oh, man. Well, that's not good. It's not an endorsement for Orange Crush, that's for sure.
Nope. I don't even know if they make Orange Crush anymore.
I'm sure they do. Somewhere. Everything's regional these days.
That's true. Not everything.
Yes.
You can find Pepsi and Coke everywhere.
What? I haven't seen a Pepsi or a Coke in years.
Saw one today, my friend. Probably multiple times.
That's true.
We'll talk about that later, maybe. Probably not. Yeah, so very, not a movie to watch if you're thinking, hey, let's just turn something on, just something mindless. And,
right. I've had a bad week. I just need to unwind.
Right.
Yeah.
This is not for you if that is what you're looking for. But no, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Very good.
The plot is thin, but it's all about the characters.
And even with the plot being thin, which I agree with, the way it's shot makes it interesting because it keeps you guessing and wondering and putting pieces together. And
right. Yeah, it is a mystery a little bit. Mm-hmm. Not so much of a whodunit, but how did it get there kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Very well done.
Yeah.
Nice choice.
Thank you.
How old is this film?
About a year or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's on the Netflix.
As a disc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a physical disc, which you can... Netflix still does that. You can send away for a mailed copy of a movie. It's not all about the streaming, people. So just because they removed something like 2,000 titles this past week, you're okay. Netflix still has things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll get into that maybe later after I pee.
Well, I'd say check this movie out.
Check it out, please.
It's very well done.
Very good. Yeah. But like I said, if it's Friday night, you're feeling like ordering a pizza and just watching a movie,
maybe not the right one.
Not the right one. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back after this song.
Somewhere to hide from
Hello, welcome back to Gutter Trash.
Howdy.
What's up, pal?
Nothing.
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 Oh, that's what you were doing in the bathroom.
Yep. I was nothing. All that talk about rape shakes.
You know, I gotta admit, it got me going too. I remember the first time I gave up my girlfriend. No, never. That did not happen. It never happened. Never. That's not funny.
No, no.
That's fucked up. But hey, at least we're talking about a fictional work.
Yeah.
Like we were. I'm not gonna try to defend us.
Nope. We're indefensible.
We're indefensible. Yeah. But that's what they call the gallows humor.
Yeah.
You know,
you've already tried to mention that.
Yeah. Like, you know, the people that work at as embalmers and whatnot. I guess. And Doogie used to work in a hospital. He said that the people that dealt with all the corpses and whatnot, he said they were the funniest people because I guess you'd have to be or you'd lose your mind.
Right.
And I'm kind of the same way. Whenever I come to face with something kind of off-putting, I usually try to make a joke out of it.
As do I. I guess this sort of brings up a thing that sort of affects the both of us that happened this past week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But a person that we both know died, and on top of that, you know, other real world things have happened that are not great.
Right.
You know,
right.
Like the bombing in Boston, and yeah, this guy we know died tragically this past week, and I mean, my reaction to any of those is that I am not the person that anyone should ever be coming to for solace or for a sympathetic ear or looking for me to help them try to make sense of the things that have happened. I am an idiot. And I like idiot things. And being an idiot.
Oh.
No. This is my role in the world.
Right. Okay.
Is to be the world's idiot.
Well,
so
I will tell you, you've been there for me over the course of the last 10 years when a couple bad things happened, and I definitely appreciated it.
Well, I'm glad, but you know, I mean, you know, there is like, okay, let's talk a little bit about Max. I guess he was more of a friend of yours than he was of mine, but it was someone that we both knew. Probably not too well for either of us.
Right, yeah.
But you had at least known him a lot longer than I had did, and a little bit better. But, you know, what happened to him was like a really tragic situation. He is definitely a friend to a bunch of people we know.
Yeah.
Like I would say
most everybody we know.
Most everyone we know was a friend of this guy's.
Yeah.
I mean, like there is only so far that I can go to comforting anybody, because I'm not that person. I'm mostly an emotionless, not real boy.
You're like Pinocchio?
I'm a little bit like Pinocchio. I am not a real boy, and I don't have real emotions. But I'm there to help make you laugh and forget about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I am there to make fart jokes.
See, well, that's something.
And that is my role in the world.
I mean, you know, most people don't know how to deal with things like this. Like,
oh, this is totally me not knowing how to deal with things.
But I mean, everyone that thinks they don't know how to deal with it, you know, they try in their own awkward way, and you know, they help each other out.
Right.
They help each other through it.
But you know, yeah, this is me. You know, I don't know that I'm afraid to have any emotion about it, because I honestly don't feel like I have much emotion about anything that happens. Other than I realize that my friends are sad, and I don't know how to deal with that.
Right. Well,
So I try to make them laugh by being a dumb fuck.
well, we appreciate it. And you're great at it.
Well, you know, I'm a professional dumb fuck. And so, yeah, and honestly, it was like with the Boston thing, you know, because like it was, what was it, like a Friday night when all the, like the big showdown and then like they locked down Boston and they were chasing after the guy, you know, when that all happened, and I was, you know, just sitting here alone and not doing anything other than watching the Rockford Files and drawing.
Right.
You know? And, like, I would go onto Facebook and see, like, all these updates about what's happening, and, oh my god, this is horrible, and, you know, it was like, it just occurred to me that, like, I'm an idiot, and I like idiot stuff. That's why I'm watching the Rockford Files. And
drawing pictures of Superman's penis.
Right. And I think maybe it was that day that I did that. I can't remember.
I think it was the day of the bombing that you drew the penis.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Which I don't know if I mentioned on here or not. I did a Google image search for my name, and that's the third thing that pops up.
Superman's cock.
Superman's cock. It's not even on the site. You have to click it to see the Superman cock.
Yeah, that is weird.
But that is what pops up. And so that is the legacy that I am leaving behind.
Like after you're gone, your mom's like, I never really looked at Eric's art. I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna see what my boy was doing. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. And in like 2 months, there's going to be a supplement to that.
Aww.
Okay, Panic, look for it.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I am the world's idiot. I am here to fight the powers of reality. I am.
I respect that.
You know, I'm here to make fart jokes and talk about stupid shit.
I think that's a noble purpose. Seriously, like, I mean, humor is what keeps us around, you know? If we can't laugh at this fucked up world, we would just go insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a shitty week and
Yeah, not great.
super sad.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's watch a movie about cults and rapes.
Yeah, you know, I mean, since we brought it up, like the Max thing, there was a really awkward spot in this movie where someone points a gun at a guy named Max and says,
Oh shit, that's right.
And they say, wait, like,
Yeah.
just shoot Max. And I was like,
Yeah.
that is awkward and weird. And,
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to mention, I mean,
I wasn't even intentioning to mention. I wasn't even intending to mention, our Max at all today, but just sort of seemed to pop up.
right. Yeah.
But yeah, wow, yeah, I totally didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that was weird. That was really weird. Because unfortunately, it was, it wasn't like natural causes. It was a gun.
Right. Yeah.
Killed the man. And yeah, awesome guy. It's too bad he's not around anymore.
Yep.
But yeah.
Right.
Here's to Max.
Here's to Max. This show, well, you know what? He would have loved us talking about rape shakes.
Oh yeah, he would have. He played Nasty Tom Selleck or whatever. What was his character?
Sleazy Tom.
Sleazy Tom.
Yeah, he was on our friend Matt's TV show as a recurring character. He was a dude that you would often see napping
at work.
At work.
You could read his adventures on Veggie Dog Saturn #3.
Right, yeah. He totally would have been behind this show. So, this episode is dedicated to Max.
Mm-hmm. I swear, like, I had, like, a couple of bad days because of the Max thing. And, I mean, not that I haven't had a couple more, but I mean, I had a couple of really bad days.
Right.
Which ended with me kind of, like, breaking down and crying for a good few minutes. And exactly, I swear I'm not kidding. When I was done crying, the first thing that popped in my head was an image of Max going, "Oh, you're crying for me, faggot." Like, that's what he would have said, you know? And he would have, and he's not, like, homophobic or anything.
No, yeah,
that would have just been him, like, kicking me in the teeth
Right.
and saying he loved me.
Right.
And I just thought that was, that totally popped in my head. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's a sad thing, but we're all gonna move on and move forward. And like I said, Max totally would have been behind anything that we have said earlier in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
So, he was a good, friendly guy with a good sense of humor, and definitely probably in our vein of the stupid dumb shit we talk about here.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about our little adventure that we had today. That was just dumb.
Oh, yeah, we tried to get a pizza and it took 8 hours to get one.
Yeah.
Because we're idiots.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't all our fault.
I wouldn't say any of it was our fault.
Well, I mean...
There was just, it all pretty much was just kicked off by our inability to make decisions.
Yeah, the first half an hour was us going like, I don't know.
And then me vaguely describing a place that I saw once, like 7 years ago.
Well, you know what I think trained me for this? Magic customers. Because you're like, I know of a place, I think it was a pizza place, it was like, it was on a road, there's like a curve in the road, and then like, instantly my EDH decklist training kicked in, and I was like, oh, it's you think it's a blue card, but you're not positive. There might be a picture of a wizard on it. I'll find it. And that's how we found the Kramers on Urban.
Yep. It was exactly where I thought it was. Just had no idea where it was. And it's weird because our friend Joe lives like a block away from that place. And we'd been there fairly recently.
To Joe's.
Yeah. Joe G's.
Yeah.
Because we also went to a pizza place called Joe's today.
It's been a while since I've been to Joe's. He doesn't invite me over.
He doesn't invite anyone over, apparently. Apparently we're the only people who have ever been to his house.
Really? Well, that's something, right?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Something, yeah. Well, maybe it was after... Like, he told his wife, he's like, here's an example of my friends. She was like, no more.
That's entirely possible. But yeah, so, yeah, it was, like I told you, like I found this place, and then it was just one of those things where, like, I don't know how I got to where I was at.
Because this was well before you even knew Joe, right?
I mean, I knew Joe, but, like...
before he lived there.
Before he and I ever hung out on a regular basis or anything like that. But, yeah, definitely long before he ever lived there.
So it wasn't like you're on your way home from your friend Joe's.
Right, yeah. Like it's down a street that, like, I would never have any reason to turn on,
Just, like, took a wrong turn or something.
Yeah. Like I don't know where I was coming from or what I was doing, but it does spit out onto, like, a main road.
Right.
That I have been on many times. But, like, it was up a hill, and it's on this curve, and, like, I saw this bar and pizza place. And I was like, oh, hey, because I'm always on the lookout for, like, a local pizza joint.
Yeah, those are the best. Right?
Yeah, because I mean, I don't want to, like even some of the local places here, like, I don't even consider them local.
Because they've become, like, a sort of chain where there's, like, 8 of them, and they kind of suck.
Yeah. And then, like, just like some of the actual local ones that deliver around here are not that great anyway. Like the one across the street from me.
That's too bad, too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that'd be convenient.
They're also kind of a chain now, too. I think there's like 4 or 5 of those stores. But yeah, so like, I always want to find a new pizza place, find
a little hole in the wall.
Yeah, and so like I made a mental note that, hey, there's a pizza place I should try sometime, and then kept driving because I was lost and didn't know where I was at. And 2 blocks later, I find a road that I'm familiar with, and then instantly forgot where this place was.
It's like some sort of fantasy story, but instead of like finding a portal to another dimension, you just saw a pizza place.
Yeah.
Like, I took all these turns, and all of a sudden, I was at this magical place that served beer and pizza.
And for whatever reason, like, I just started telling you about this place, and you're like, oh, I know exactly where that is.
Yet I want to put this out there. It's the first time I've ever been in that parking lot or anything. I've just driven by before, and yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
But it was all for naught because they were out of pizza.
Yeah, they're out of pizza. There were just people in there drinking.
Yep.
But they had pool tables.
Yeah.
You noticed that on the way out, and we might have to go back.
I would go back.
That'd be a cool place to order a pizza and play a game of pool while we wait on our pizza.
Hell yeah. As long as they're not out of pizza.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. That could happen. It did happen.
Yep. But yeah.
Well, we eventually got our pizza.
Yeah, we got someplace. Yeah. It was good. It was fine.
It was tasty.
So, what else is going on?
I'm about to leave the country.
No.
Yes.
You're going to Iraq?
I am fighting the war against Canada. No, it's that time of year where I leave the country and take a few days off to enjoy a TCAF in Toronto.
But you're not going with anyone this year.
This year I'm not going with anyone.
Why would you even go then? Isn't part of it just, like wanting to hang out with your friends and all?
Well, I've been reading a lot of, I've been reading and rereading Chester Brown's Paying for It, and he says there's a lot of great hookers in Toronto. So I'm going to test it out. Test out his theory. No, actually, supposedly, a couple of my friends from Nebraska are going to be there. So I'm going to hang out for a day or two with them. Chris Hoyam and his lady. But if that doesn't happen, I'm still going to just, walk around my favorite city for a couple of days.
I don't like it when you go there.
Yeah? You don't like it?
I do not.
It feels like I'm cheating on Chicago.
Well, there's that. And it also makes you come back like, I'm going to move there. And that makes me sad because you're my only friend, and I won't have anyone to hang out with anymore if you moved to Canada.
Well, I'm sure you do have other friends, and I'm sure I'll never actually get to move there.
Do not have any other friends.
Oh, beg to differ. Well, maybe I can get everybody I know together, and we can all move to Toronto.
Okay,
we can open a comic shop up there.
Hey. I would totally be up for that.
Yeah.
I would work at your Toronto comic shop.
Yeah, you could be our eBay guy.
I could be your magic guy.
We're not going to carry magic.
That's why I would be your magic guy.
You stand at the door, and if someone walks in asking if we buy magic, you just throw them out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I make them disappear.
Yeah, that's a magic trick. That would be awesome. Yeah. Speaking of magic, the new Magic set came out Friday, and Free Comic Day was Saturday, so it was kind of a busy couple of days at Yon Mavericks.
Yeah, I had to come talk to you on Friday, which was the day the new Magic set came out, and I know you've told me horror stories of what happens when that event occurs, every 3 months?
About every 3 months, yeah.
And I went to Mavericks and was surprised to only see 3 people in the store.
Yeah, it was the slowest Magic release we've had in probably a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's many factors, but I think the main one being apparently this set isn't that great, and it's a small set, so a lot of people didn't have to buy more than one box of it or whatever.
Right.
So, yeah, it was a little slow. I mean, we still did really well that day, but Saturday totally made up for it. Cause for Free Comic Day, it was...
But you were giving away free stuff.
Oh, you were. Free stuff. But we had a bunch of sales, and a lot of people came in. And
why would people do that if they could just come in and get free stuff?
Some people... I did, on more than one occasion, hear someone go, "Can we buy something, Mom?" And she's like, "No, we're here for the free ones." Like that. I totally heard that exact exchange.
Well, she was right.
That's what it's about.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't go buy stuff on Christmas. You open your presents and you go home.
Yep.
Yeah, it was cool. We had Justin Wasserman doing sketches. He had some stuff for sale. He seemed fairly brisk business over there. And Free Comics, we ordered a shitload. We usually sell out or give them all out by 4 o'clock or so, but we still had a few left when we closed that night. So
I've been to some free comic book days where they didn't have anything by like noon.
wow, at Mavericks or just anywhere?
Just anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, even at Mavericks,
Yeah.
there's been a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the first year or two, like especially the first year, I remember we had no idea what to expect and
Right.
like how many to order and what it was going to be like, but it's gotten a little bit bigger every year.
Well, wasn't that like 12 years ago?
12 years ago, yeah.
They've been doing this for 12 years
I
now.
don't know.
It's crazy.
When are they going to give up?
And because it's not helping.
Do you think it's helping?
I don't know. I don't.
I don't know. I mean,
you said you have good business that day, but are any of those people going to come back until next year?
you know, I feel like the only thing it really does, like it gets an awareness from people that all comics aren't necessarily all superheroes and things like that. Because, I mean, there's a Marvel and DC and blah, blah, but I mean, there's all these other ones. And it does that. And I think it also re-sparks the interest in people who've kind of drifted away from it. Because I saw a lot of people on Saturday that used to have files there. They just kind of stopped coming in.
Right, but like, are those people then are they gonna come back next week for brand new comics that they have to pay for?
Well, that's what we hope.
That's what you hope.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it's actually doing that, is it?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, the comic industry just seems to be more and more dying.
Even if it doesn't, though, like, even if it only does, like, a couple people here and there, like, we always have a big sale on Free Comic Day, and we did insane business on that day. So, like, even if it doesn't bring in a ton of new readers, it was worth the investment. Because I don't know if a lot of people even think about it or realize, but the shops do pay for the comics they give away.
Right.
They just only pay like 30 cents a comic on average.
Right.
And we spent about $500 this year. And even if you subtract that from our daily total, we still did incredibly well. So it's totally worth it.
Right.
I mean, it like stirs the excitement up, I think.
Right. I mean, I know that you appreciate it because it was at least a day dedicated to comics and not magic.
It kind of scares off the magic crowd. Like, even though it was the day after the new set, we hardly, and we had some magic guys in there, but like a fraction of what you would expect on a weekend after the release of the new product.
Right.
So that was cool.
Yeah, there you go.
And the day went really fast. So.
Right.
And we were actually able to afford to pay me.
That's always nice.
Yeah. Because the previous week that didn't happen. And that was Magic's fault. We actually couldn't pay 3 of our employees because we had to save all our money to pay for the Magic.
Yeah.
So all the employees had to wait like a week to...
That's demoralizing.
Yeah, well, he put his priorities, what's more important? The shitty Magic cards or the shitty employees?
Well, listen. I'm all in favor of not paying the other employees at Mavericks.
Right.
But you should get paid.
Me and Jeremy probably?
Yeah. Jeremy less so, but he's a strong number 2.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean he's a shit.
Oh.
That's why he'll never be on this show again.
We love Jeremy.
He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm. And Magic sucks. We can agree on those two things.
Yep. Jeremy Hoyt is A-OK, and Magic is ball sweat.
Well, what did you do for Free Comic Book Day?
Went and had lunch with my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went and hung out at Barnes & Noble's twice for an hour each.
Did they have free comics there?
They did not.
Oh, they should have.
But they had a fantastic food and wine section. About a book. Invisible Monsters Remix by Chuck Palahniuk. Palahniuk?
I think it's Palahniuk.
I think it's Palahniuk. And then I got new glasses.
Peepers.
I had not gotten new glasses since 2005, maybe.
That's a long time ago.
It is a very long time ago. May even be 2003.
Wow.
Can't remember.
So between 8 to 10 years.
Yes. And I have, in the past day, never, ever been more aware that I am wearing glasses than since the first time I got glasses.
Are they heavier?
They're a little heavier, they're smaller, so I can see the edges.
Yeah.
And it's a little annoying.
Right.
And they're not a great fit, but I can totally feel them on my face.
But you can see better, right?
Well, no, because the prescription didn't change that much.
Oh.
So there's
a bummer.
Very little difference between my old pair and this pair, but the old pair, the lenses were pretty old. Or not the lenses, but the frames.
Right.
They were digging into my ears.
Yeah, it's not good.
I haven't tried these with headphones yet. That's going to be a thing. Because the old ones, the old pair and headphones did not get along too well. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow at work. But yeah, just even during the movie today, I just kept fidgeting with my glasses because I can tell that I am wearing glasses.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sure you'll get used to that.
I hope.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I hope.
Just quit thinking about it.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
But when you can
see
the edge of the lens.
Believe it or not, even as large as mine are, I can see the edges, and my previous pair I couldn't, so it makes me wonder, how big were my fucking glasses before? I know I have a photo somewhere that Doogie always makes fun of when he sees it. He calls it my Tootsie glasses. And they were pretty big.
Did you get a pair of old lady glasses?
I bought them
at Walmart's, and then just had the frames replaced.
I bought them.
The lenses.
I bought them at a baseball game, and people were real excited, and they put me on the jumbotron, and because they were so big, they were hanging off my face, and I guess I thought everybody really liked them, so I just kept wearing them. But apparently it was they were funny joke glasses. I didn't realize it. No, I just picked up.
So by that you mean you bought a pair of Chris Sabo glasses?
Chris Sabo Lens Crafters.
Yeah.
I remember his Lens Crafters commercial.
Hey, what podcast is mentioning Chris Sabo in this day and age?
I know, right?
Us.
We're keeping it real.
Which of our listeners even know who the fuck Chris Sabo is?
Hey, he helped sweep the Oakland A's in the 1990 World Series. Fuck you, Ken Seiko. Ken Sucko. No, but I just bought the cheapest pair of glasses I could find whenever I needed them. Right. And I ended up with these monsters that were just like old lady glasses. Yeah, they were old lady glasses. They were giant. But you know what? That's pretty hip of me. Now, I bet that would be if I showed up at Providence, Rhode Island, at an art cafe or something, they'd probably think I was super cool.
I don't know. I think the style now is definitely the size of my frames right now, but with the thick black frames.
Like the Henry Rollins style. Doesn't he wear those?
I think I've ever seen him wear glasses.
Really?
I've never seen Henry Rollins wear glasses.
Maybe I'm thinking of Steve Jobs. I get those two confused a lot. They were both Black Flag singers.
Keith Morris does wear glasses.
Oh, weird. Maybe that's who I'm thinking of.
And I think he had thick black frames in the American Hardcore documentary. So it's possible.
Wow. Who knows? So I found out that Kathleen met Henry Rollins once.
Really?
Did you ever hear about that?
I have not.
Oh.
I'm furious that this is the first I'm hearing from it, and I'm not hearing it from her.
Well, it happened because the other day, we were talking, and I was like, man, I watched this interview with Henry Rollins on the Howard Stern show online, and I was like, it was really good, and I was like, yeah, Henry Rollins, he's probably in my top 5 favorite living people.
Right.
And she was like, oh, I can't stand that guy. And I was like, oh, really? And she said, well, it's because she was in Columbus once, and she was running late to a movie, and she was walking hurriedly into the theater, and she didn't, this was pre-cell phones.
Right.
Or at least when she had a cell phone, so she didn't know what time it was, and she said she was just going to ask this guy in front of her,
right,
if he had the time, and she was like, excuse me, sir, and she said he turned around and he goes, I just want to watch the fucking movie! And it was Henry Rollins. And he was walking into the theater, and she was like, oh, it's Henry Rollins. Right. She didn't know it was Henry Rollins until he turned around.
Right.
So ever since then, she said, since he just yelled in her face, she's kind of not liked him.
Well, first of all, cell phones don't mean a fucking thing. There are watches.
Right. Well, I don't think she was ever a watch wearer.
I don't wear watches now because I have a cell phone.
Mm.
But before I had a cell phone, I wore watches. That's what they're there for.
Right.
To tell the time. And also,
maybe it didn't go with her outfit.
different styles of watches.
That's true.
My ex-girlfriend probably had like 17 different watches. Second of all, I imagine that if Henry Rollins was watching a movie in Columbus, Ohio, that probably 100 other people saw him there and tried to bug him.
Oh, I'm sure.
And that was just the breaking point for him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that was like not the 10th or even 12th time someone approached him. Yeah.
So, fuck you, Kathleen. Henry Rollins is the greatest. You shouldn't have bugged him.
He's pretty awesome. But I mean, you know, it is kind of shitty whenever, like, if the only interaction you ever have with a specific human being is them yelling at you, you're probably not going to like them.
Well, she needs to see things from his point of view.
Maybe she'll get...
I'm right now just announcing that the Stupid Sexy podcast is canceled forever.
It's over.
Yeah, it's done.
Well, she'll be excited.
Yeah, she can have her Saturdays back once a month.
But yeah, I love Henry Rollins.
I do as well.
It's so good. Jeremy, Jeremy Anderson, our listener, had a run-in with Henry Rollins once. Maybe he can comment if he's listening to this. Maybe he can comment and tell his little story.
Okay.
It's a very brief one, so it's not like it would be like.
Did he get yelled at and he hates him now too?
I don't think there was any yelling or any hatred involved.
Okay, all right.
So yeah.
I've emailed Henry Rollins before, and my experience was very pleasant.
He emailed back?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Almost immediately.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I once talked to Bruce Campbell's manager and got yelled at.
That's awesome.
But I still love Bruce Campbell.
Well, it wasn't his fault, right?
No.
Yeah. But you don't like his manager, I bet.
I'm not a huge fan of his
manager. See? I'm trying to I don't think I've ever been yelled at by a celebrity.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
Never.
Never had a...
I don't really talk to too many celebrities, though.
Oh, yeah, I haven't either.
It's not like we're Kurt Dins or anything.
Right, yeah. Kurt Dins occasionally does celebrity interviews for us.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. In fact, I think here's one now.
What?
Yeah. Let's listen to Kurt Dins.
Yes, we should.
Oh, good for you. This is Kurt Dins for the Gutter Trash Podcasting Network at Horror Hound Cincinnati. I'm with Butch Patrick right now, who's going to answer the one question segment that we do. The question is, tell me about your first car. Here you go.
My first car was a 69 Mach 1. I asked for a 428 Cobra Jet. I wound up with a 351 Windsor, not even a Cleveland. But through the next year and a half, I put a 4-speed in it. I put in disc brakes. I built it and put in gears, side pipes, and wound up then racing it for about 2 years and sold it. And then the rest is history.
There you have it. Thank you.
So, I don't think I understood anything about that.
Oh, what do you mean? About, like, you're not a gearhead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cargo. That's the extent of my knowledge of cars.
Yeah, I've never tried to add anything to my car other than maybe a bumper sticker.
Right, yeah. I've never even done that.
I've changed the plates before.
Yeah, I've done that. I put gas in it multiple times a week.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. I thought about putting a seat cover on my car today because Kathleen and I went to a store called Ollie's, which is like a Big Lots sort of.
Okay.
And they had for $6.99, they had seat covers of Ozzy, Kiss, Lil Wayne, and Run DMC.
Let me guess, you were gonna get a Lil Wayne.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
No, I was feverishly, once I saw they had, because the first thing we saw was the Run DMC, and we were like looking to see what all they had, and once we saw there was a Kiss and an Ozzy, I was like, if there's a Poison, I'm getting it. And that's the only one I probably would have bought.
Right. I had a seat cover on my old car. Just because there was a hole in the seat that a spring was popping through, and I ruined like 4 different pairs of pants.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd put a seat cover on it so that I could keep pants.
Right.
Yeah.
So the spring would poke you, and you would urinate all over yourself, ruining your pants. Is that how that happened?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I would shit myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's just,
And then then you would stuff your pants under your sister's bed.
Right, yeah. So yeah, Butch Patrick, Eddie Munster.
Yeah, thanks for telling me, because I wasn't sure who that was.
Yeah, Kurt did that when he was, when he abandoned me at the table at Horror Hound last month.
Well, good for him on both accounts.
Oh, is it any wonder why I worry that I don't have any friends? It's because they all just leave me for D-list celebrities.
Oh, well, isn't that by your command, sort of?
Yeah, I guess I did tell him to leave multiple times. I was just hoping for somebody better than a Butch Patrick.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, Butch Patrick is pretty awesome, and obviously he was game. And
how cool is that?
That's always awesome.
People are lowering themselves to our standards.
Yeah, exactly.
And Kurt is doing us a great favor. We really appreciate it, Kurt.
Exactly. And you know what? Fucking love the Monsters.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Monsters was great.
Yeah.
It was no Addams Family, but it was pretty good.
Two different shows.
Yeah.
Two entirely different types of shows.
Which one came first, though? Because I feel like they had to have, inspired the other one.
Well, the Addams Family was a comic strip.
Yeah.
So in terms of creation, I don't know. And then the Monsters, of course, is just all based on Universal horror movies.
Right.
Or just classic monsters in general. So I guess, if you're going to the source, then I guess that's an even better question that I don't know the answer to.
Well, yeah, but I mean, once they were decided on as a TV show,
Right.
I'm not sure, but I know when I was a kid, I watched both on, the reruns, obviously, and I definitely liked Addams Family a lot better, but I liked them both. I always thought they were great shows.
I think they're both perfectly equal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't seen one or the other in decades.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if I don't know, at one point in time, both were on Netflix, but I don't know if they still are.
I've seen the Monsters because for some reason, my brother's got a DVD of them, which seems out of place in his collection. He's got a lot of, he does have some Marx Brothers, but that's about the only, a lot of his stuff is, pretty awesome, just weird, cool, low-budget, awesome movies,
Right.
And then the Munsters are in there, and I was at his house once, so I just put the Munsters DVD in, and it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I gotta admit. This was just a few years ago. But, I always liked the characters on the Addams Family better, like Lurch and Thing and Cousin It.
I guess they do have a little more personality, as far as, maybe even just being able to come whole cloth out of nothing.
Right.
Whereas, maybe with, the Monsters, you're like, well, it's a Frankenstein and a Dracula
right.
and a Wolfman, it's like, you've already got your own preconceived notions of what they should be, and seeing them in wacky situations is maybe off-putting.
I mean, sometimes the Herman laugh thing.
Right.
Sometimes it just, it's like, all right, yeah, it's tiring. But yeah, no, it's a good show. It's fun.
Like I said, I liked them both when I was a kid. I don't think until this day and age where everything has to be something versus another thing.
Yeah.
It never even occurred to me to try to compare or contrast.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't mean to say one's, got to win out or whatever. I've always associated them with each other even when I was a kid. Probably even confused them a couple times when I was younger.
There's two spooky families, black and white sitcom, live in big spooky houses.
Yep.
What's not to get confused?
And silver spoons could be described the same way.
Yep. Except for the black and white.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had a shitty TV. It was black and white. But yeah, thanks, Butch.
Yeah.
And
Kurt.
And Kurt, yeah.
I don't think I have anything else.
Nothing else?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Well, you're.
I'll miss you next week.
I'm gonna miss you. We're not doing a show.
We're not.
So I think. So again, here's another thing to add to my abandonment issues. This is the third show in a month that you've just left me.
What?
for.
That's just maybe the second in a 2 month.
It's the third.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
What was the other one?
There was the weekend where
Space. Space. Yeah.
and then there was the Horror Hound, and
I would have totally done it if you would have been in town.
you wouldn't have done it. You'd have been like, I'm too tired. I just did that stupid
It's true. I
fucking
would have.
convention.
I would have. Oh, we could have done it Monday night.
Yeah. And then you're leaving now, and then like you're gonna leave in another month.
It's true. Well, I'll be back. I'll be back to do I can do it Monday one that night. As long as it's not a movie, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I don't know when you're leaving.
I don't either.
You only tell me like 2 days before it's happening.
I like to keep you on your toes.
But maybe I'll do something again by myself. As a filler until you come back. So
If I come back.
If you come back. Fuck. Well then I guess I'm going to be retooling Gutter Trash and figuring out what we're going for the future.
All right.
By myself or with maybe somebody else. Maybe Brian John Mitchell will move up here from North Carolina.
That'd be
and do the show
awesome.
with me.
That'd be awesome.
Or maybe Kurt can leave his family and come live down here.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
He can join your cult.
Yeah.
You can rape shake him.
They can both join my cult, and I'll rape shake both of them.
That's what I want to hear.
Unfortunately, my cult doesn't seem to be working since you keep leaving.
Yeah.
You keep Martha, Marcy, Marlene, me.
Yeah, I kind of do.
Bye.
Yeah. Well.
I don't have anything to read this week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe I'll read that book I bought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do that.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll review that book
That'd be
by
awesome.
myself.
Oh, Eric's book club. I'll listen to that if you do. Not in Canada because it's probably too expensive for you to find internet and listen to it for an hour.
Well, I wish you safe travels.
I appreciate it.
And I hope I see you again after you come back. I hope you come back.
I'll have to come back.
I hope you survive the experience. And,
Sure.
I hope that you are alive when you come back.
Oh, those are all things I hope as well.
And then for now, I'm just going to sit alone in my apartment and cry.
Hey, we'll enjoy.
I will.
All right.
Goodbye. Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information, links to our Facebook and Twitter pages, and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.